All right. Thanks, team. Thanks for joining the call today. Today we are going to cover a few topics. We are going to talk about software predominantly and what are some of the challenges we are hearing from our customers and how is Cisco's enterprise agreement is addressing those challenges. And then we are going to talk about two new things that we are introducing as part of EA. The updates to infrastructure enrollment. This is going to be around switching and wireless, and then we are also going to double click on the new security choice enrollment, which is replacing security EA 2.0. So let's go ahead and get started with the market overview. As more and more features are moving to software stack, it comes with its own issues, and that's where the industry is moving to software SaaS model, cloud model, but it has its own issues. On one hand, moving features to software gives customers the agility, access to innovation without having to rip and replace their network, but it also makes managing licenses extremely complex, but also very manual. And anytime there is a manual process, it tends to be error prone. Some of the feedback we have heard from our customers is that too many licenses, each with its own start and end date, making it hard to manage. Our customers would rather focus on their business priorities rather than spending time on managing licenses. And they also find that it's not just about licenses, managing software licenses, but also the software support. So how do we address some of those challenges? The Cisco's enterprise agreement gives customers an easier way to manage the software that they buy from Cisco, a simpler way to manage their licenses with NTE or not to exceed pricing, and it gives customers a better financial predictability with True Forward. Customers don't have to worry about having to go back to their CFO to get additional budget to address the licenses they perhaps overconsumed in the previous year. And with EA, with Cisco's enterprise agreement, customers also get the blanket software support coverage that came up as a pain point in the previous slide. So they get blanket software support, all this leading to a lower TCO for our customers. Now, let's not take Cisco's word for this. We worked with an analyst, ESG. Cisco commissioned a report by ESG in which the analyst interviewed Cisco's EA customers as well as customers in the industry in general to see what is the value Cisco's EA brings to our customers. This slide here shows on the left side how much time a customer spends on software licensing. As you can see, negotiating or consolidating existing licenses, predicting the need, if it's going to be overconsumption, predicting that need, as well as researching licensing and making sure that they are on compliance. All of that takes a lot of time. Some customers tell us that they have dedicated person managing licenses. And on the right, when the customers buys the software as a Cisco Enterprise Agreement, on the right, as you can see, the time it takes for customers to manage their Cisco software licenses reduces by around 85%. So this gives customers just 85% of the time they can focus on their business. They can focus on being a strategic partner to their line of business advocates. So with the customers know that what software licenses they have, what is the usage rate, and how they have allocated their licenses, so they don't have to worry about being out of compliance. Now, what is offered as Cisco's Enterprise Agreement? The Cisco's Enterprise Agreement is truly a cross-architecture buying program that includes enrollments from across all Cisco's architectures. It includes infrastructure, and within infrastructure, it includes enterprise networking, switching, wireless, and WAN, as well as the data center compute and networking. And it also includes collaboration and security. And an enrollment, what is an enrollment? An enrollment is a standardized combination of suites or optional products and services add-ons that are purchased under one contract. So the Cisco EA becomes one contract with one term and one terms and conditions that customers signs with Cisco, and they can add more enrollments as their business requires. So why should customers care about enterprise agreement? And as you can see, it is easy to buy, easy to consume, and easy to manage. Let's look at easy to buy. First, financial predictability. With a 3 or a 5-year enterprise agreement, customers receive not only not to exceed pricing guarantee for any growth, they also get the full visibility of the license consumption, which results in full predictability of their software spend. In addition, they also have the flexible payment terms that best fits their business. Secondly, the Cisco EA is a cross-portfolio buying program that simplifies the purchase and licensing across Cisco's portfolio. Customers can acquire the entire portfolio, or they can buy what they need. And it, as a field salesperson, it lets you land and then expand at a later date to address their business needs. And then thirdly, the unique offer value in each of the EA enrollment. For example, 20% growth allowance for user-based licensing, or better together pricing in security, or flexibility in suite combination to meet the 250K net threshold in enterprise networking. So all that flexibility makes it easier for our customers to buy and consume enterprise agreement. Secondly, if we look at easy to consume, True Forward. So True Forward is Cisco has introduced the True Forward feature. It's an industry leading feature. We are the first ones to introduce that. If the customer business grows, they are not retroactively charged for that year's extra usage of software. Instead, their payments for growth or allowance is revised at the beginning of their next billing period. And I have an example in the follow-up slide, and I will share that with you. Cisco is the only vendor who does that, and I'll share with an example how the True Forward works. Access to new software capabilities. So Cisco, when customers have Cisco EA, they also have access to new software capabilities that are added to the solution suites. For example, WebEx Meeting Center 1000 was offered without any additional fee. Or customers who bought Cisco One as a perpetual software, they get DNA software for free. So the access to new capabilities through Cisco EA makes it very valuable as well. Thirdly, on-demand deployment. This gives instant access to the licenses that customers need when they need it through the Cisco EA workspace. Customers report that they are able to eliminate hundreds of man hours because people had instant access to the licenses to complete their work. They don't have to come back to Cisco, open a PO to buy additional licenses. Instead, they just simply go to Cisco EA workspace and download the software and start using it. The third point is easy to manage. As I mentioned before, the Cisco EA workspace is where they can get their licenses, as well as it also gives them visibility to all the licenses procured, deployed, and due for renewal in a single workspace. And another pain point that we address through Cisco EA is co-termination of software subscription. So they have the time saving they save time by managing renewals, as well as easily manage their utilization. So all of this makes it holistic entitlement management for Cisco, for our customers with Cisco EA. Let's look at the True Forward example. As I mentioned before in the previous slide, True Forward is a unique value proposition that Cisco EA customers enjoy. Let's look at the wireless as an example here. Let's say a customer has signed a 3-year Cisco EA with Cisco Enterprise Agreement with us, and they bought at the beginning of the contract. They bought 2,000 wireless access points. And at the first year, the customer's business grew and they used an extra 100 licenses for their access point. So what happens is at the annual review or at the True Forward event of the Cisco Enterprise Agreement, the customers sit down with Cisco account manager and they look at the contract and say, okay, you bought 2,000 licenses, but you used 2,100. So what they do is they adjust the annual billing for the next year. So there is no retroactive billing for the previous year. Instead, they are billed for that 100 extra licenses for the next year. Similarly, in year 2, if they consumed 200 more licenses, so at the beginning of the second year, they are entitled to 2,100, but they have consumed 2,300, meaning they have used 200 more licenses. At the end of the annual review or the True Forward event, customers will be charged for 2,300 going forward for the next year and no retroactive billing. So as you can see, the True Forward truly enables our customers to scale easily by downloading the software from the EA workspace without having to worry about retroactive billing. So it helps them to scale faster and they don't have to worry about going back to Cisco to get additional licenses, or they don't also have to worry about retroactive billing. A couple of things that I want to call out here is that customers can increase their usage during the EA term, but they cannot necessarily decrease their usage. So for example, if they got 2,000 licenses and they used only 1,900 licenses, we don't give back money to customers. So it only works when they increase their usage. So, and we expect our customers to grow their business as such. Secondly, if the customer consumes more than 105% of licenses within the first 6 months of their EA, then the agreement is renegotiated, and this protects Cisco as well. All right, let's look at what is available. So let's double click into what is available within each of the enrollment. In the infrastructure on the left, starting with infrastructure, switching, wireless, routing, compute, and data center networking. If you are familiar with Cisco EA, in switching, wireless, and routing, we only offered Cisco One as part of the enterprise agreement. What we have done now is based on your feedback, we have included both Cisco DNA Advantage as well as Cisco DNA Premier. Cisco DNA Premier is just a brand rename for Cisco One Advantage. To align with DNA brand, Cisco One Advantage has been renamed to Cisco DNA Premier. So for switching and wireless, as you can see, you have a choice now. You can position both Cisco DNA Advantage or DNA Premier. And if you position DNA Premier, it's a nested SKU. Customers will automatically get DNA Advantage as well as DNA Essentials. In routing, we are still offering the Cisco Advantage for routing, so that name change has not taken place yet on routing. And routing also offers the perpetual license with Foundation for WAN as well as the WAN collaboration. On the compute side, really there is no change at this point. And on the data center side, Cisco One Essentials and Cisco One Advantage on the subscription side, and Foundation for networking and data center fabric on the perpetual side. So you have a choice to offer subscription or perpetual license for routing and data center networking. For switching, wireless, and compute, it's a pure subscription model. Our guidance would be to lead with subscription model across the portfolio. There is no change to collaboration at this point. Cisco Collaboration Flex Plan with messaging and meeting, as well as the other offers that you see here. And I'll be double clicking into Security Choice offer. This is a new offer replacing Security EA 2.0. As you can see, there are 8 or 9 suites here, and this has been created based on your feedback. So we will double click into it in the following slides. Okay, let's talk about the minimum purchase requirements. So as you can see, the slide shows the summary of the minimum purchase requirements. Generally, an infrastructure enrollment is $250K minimum entry point across switching, wireless, and routing. It's a $250K net total contract value. And in collaboration, it's slightly different. It goes by knowledge workers, 250 knowledge workers for flex plan, 250 contact center agents for across customer collaboration and prime collaboration, and 1,000 knowledge workers for UC, prime, and multi-party plus. For security, it is 250K net TCV as well, total contract value. So these variances are very slight across the variances are by enrollment, and we have tried to keep it as consistent as possible. EA Workspace. We talked about this a little bit earlier. It gives your customers a view of all the licenses that they own, they have procured, they have deployed, and that the licenses are up for renewal. They can also manage their licenses. They can do renewal. They can download additional licenses from EA Workspace. So it's really a one-stop shop for all their licenses management, and it's enabled by the smart account, and work with your customers to establish smart accounts for your customer. And more licenses are becoming smart licenses, meaning there are no packs going forward. Like for example, with switching and routing, there are no packs going forward. They are smart license enabled. What that means is when customers buy the license, it automatically gets deposited into customers' smart account, and they can from there they can connect it to, they can download it or create a token to use the licenses. So creating a smart account for your customers becomes important. So work with your customers to establish the smart account. But EA Workspace is built on top of smart account, and it gives them that one view of all the licenses that they own. Okay, so now let's talk about infrastructure enrollment, and I'm going to focus on switching and wireless. But here it gives you a complete view of all the licenses that are available in the infrastructure space as part of enterprise agreement. So going from right to left, you have the wireless. As I mentioned before, we are offering both DNA Advantage as well as DNA Premier. These are nested SKUs. So when customer buys DNA Premier, they automatically get DNA Advantage as well as Essentials. Switching, it's not only supported on the 9K platform, but also on our legacy 3K, 4K, and 6K. Again, you are able to position either DNA Advantage or DNA Premier. Both are available for both switching and wireless. DNA Advantage and DNA Premier are available as a 3 or a 5-year license term as part of enterprise agreement. On the routing side, on the subscription subscription side, we have Cisco One Advantage. It's supported on the ASR vEdge as well as the ISR routers. On the data center networking, you have Cisco One Essentials and Cisco One Advantage. If your customer is looking for a single data center, lead with Cisco One Essentials. If it's a multiple data center, lead with Cisco One Advantage. Actually on the data center networking side, both Essentials and Advantage supports both the ACI as well as NXOS. No change to the compute stack. It is we have not done any changes to it. It supports on both UCS as well as the x86. Now let's double click into the switching offer structure. So you have the DNA Essentials, Advantage, and Premier. Enterprise Agreement supports only the DNA Advantage and DNA Premier. It's offered as a transaction, it's offered as 3, 5, 7 year, but as an Enterprise Agreement, customers have the choice to get either 3 or 5 year. This double clicks into what is included in DNA Advantage. This is very similar to the it's exactly the same as what they would get as if they bought it as a transaction. DNA Advantage gives customers the advanced automation with SD access. When they have Stealth Watch, they are able to implement ETA, the encrypted traffic analytics. If they have ICE, they are able to do advanced policy segmentation with SD access. And they can also do, with Advantage, they can also do assurance and analytics that gives them access to custom reports as well as 360 view of their network and application health. Switching to wireless, again, you have the Essentials, Advantage, and Premier, the good, better, best model on the transaction side. But when customers buy as Enterprise Agreement, they can either buy DNA Advantage or DNA Premier. They can get it as 3 or 5 year subscription when they buy it as Enterprise Agreement. And as you can see, DNA Premier comes with CMX base, ICE Plus, Prime AP license, as well as the DNA Essentials. DNA Advantage comes with Prime AP license and DNA Essentials. Looking at the details of DNA Advantage, it gives customers the advanced automation as well as advanced assurance and analytics. When they have the DNA Premier with CMX and ICE, they are also able to do location-based services. Now let's switch gears to collaboration enrollment. As I mentioned before, there is really no change to collaboration flex plan. You have two main packages, meetings and calling. Messaging is included in both of them. The WebEx Teams messaging is included. With meetings, they can either get Cisco WebEx or on cloud, or they can get Cisco Meeting on-prem. With respect to calling, they have customers have a choice of WebEx calling on cloud or hosted, the HCS service, or Cisco UC with Call Manager with Jabber. So they have the choice, and messaging is included in both options. They can mix and match meetings and callings in a single agreement as well. Collaboration is actually our flagship flagship product for enterprise agreement. A lot of our deals have collaboration. Our sales seems to lead with collaboration. So huge kudos to you guys on that. Let's talk about security enrollment. This is a new enrollment that was announced on Monday or yesterday. With respect to security, really there are 3 offers going from left to right. Let's start with the 1.0 version, which is ideal for mid to large organization that requires enterprise-wide coverage, as well as it offers end-to-end integrated security architecture. On the far right, we have the SVP, which doesn't require enterprise-wide coverage, and it really enables us to go down market, as well as if the customer's business is a complex situation where you're not able to position enterprise-wide coverage, then it allows you to go up market as well. So SVP really should be used very strategically. Now in the middle, introducing now, is the security choice. This offer actually gives you the modular capable. It's very modular, meaning it has like 8 or 9 solution suites, and it gives you it's replacing security EA 2.0, and it fills the gap between the enterprise-wide all-in coverage that's required by EA 1.0 and SVP. Enterprise-wide coverage is required for security choice, but since it has that modular approach, as well as it has that cross-architecture alignment with enterprise networking and collaboration, it really is something that we are, it was created with field input. And it comes with it's available on GPL with transparent pricing, and it has the 20% growth allowance, and it's ideal for deals that require a quick turnaround. So you're seeing the 3 offers here for security. You probably are thinking, okay, when do I position what, right? So the first guidance is we don't want to start with a buying program. We need to always start with technology. So start with technology, start with customers' business use case. You look at customers' renewal, look at customers' use cases to figure out what security solutions they are looking for. If the customer is looking at 4 or more security products, then definitely lead with 1.0. This will help to develop a holistic proposal to land as well as to expand. If the customers feel that entire security portfolio is too big and they are not able to buy into it, then security choice is a perfect strategy. You can tailor the offer to fit customers' need and take the customers on an architectural journey, so to speak, right? Land now to address customers' immediate needs and expand later as their business requirements change. When do you position SVP? Sometimes even with large customers, we are not the only player in the multi-vendor security stack, right? So if the customer is very small and does not need enterprise-wide coverage, or if the 250K minimum requirement entry point is too high for them, so those are some of the cases where you could position SVP. Now let's look at what is in the offer itself. So there are 8 product suites that are offered as part of security choice. So you would see the next-gen firewall, AMP for endpoint, email security, Umbrella, Cloud Lock, Stealth Watch, ICE, Identity Service Engine, as well as the web security. In addition, security choice also offers 4 optional technologies: Threat Grid, AnyConnect, Cloud Defense Orchestrator, as well as the virtual private cloud. In order to buy into this program, customer needs to get a minimum of 3 product suites with an entry point of 250K TCV. As they buy more products, they get additional discounts, and I will share with you in the next slide how the discounting works, and enterprise-wide coverage is required. And this this modular approach gives you greater flexibility to position our security EA with our customers. All right, let's talk about additional requirements for Security Choice EA across the 8 product suites. So minimum of 100 security content users with 250K net total contract value is required. As I mentioned before, customers need to buy 3 or more qualifying product suites, and coverage is enterprise-wide. In addition, of course, customers will also get EA benefits of price protection, NTE, not to exceed pricing, as well as flexibility to expand when they are ready, and co-termination. So all of those benefits that EA platform brings, those are automatically made available for Security Choice as well. Now let's talk about the discount structure. If the customers buy 3 product suites, they get a list 10% discount, and if they buy 4, 15%, 5, 18%, and if they buy 6 or more, they get 20% discount. A couple of things that I want to call out here is that if the customers say they buy 3 products today and they decide to buy 1 more product tomorrow and they want to co-term it with the first product, then the 15% discount will only apply to the 4th suite. It does not apply retroactively to the first 3 suites that they bought. And also the pricing on the 4th suite, because it is co-terming with the first 3 suites that they have already bought, the pricing and the discount on the 4th suite will be based on the leftover term based on the co-terming. So that's something that you want to keep in mind as you position the products with your customers. Let's talk about support services. As I mentioned in my very first slide, software licenses is complex, but also managing the support licenses also is a bit of a nightmare for our customers. So all EA automatically includes the support services. It's an umbrella coverage. All the software licenses are covered by the software support. Basic support. So there is, in the support also there is basic, enhanced, and premium, like a good, better, best model. Basic is all automatically included for the enterprise agreement. One thing I want to call out is for security, Umbrella and Cloud offer does not offer basic support, so the enhanced support is automatically included for if the customers were to buy Umbrella and Cloud. Enhanced support is automatically attached to that. So otherwise, basic support is automatically included, and enhanced and premium are optional. Another thing I want to call out is for Choice EA, for Security Choice EA, the enhanced requires 17K net per year per suite minimum. So, and this does not apply to Umbrella and Cloud since it's a default for Umbrella and Cloud. That's on the software support. There is quite a lot of resources that we have put together. There is a Sales Connect page where you can see the ordering guides, the BDM guide playbook, as well as the availability information. So please do take a look at the Sales Connect site, and the links will be available to you. And if you have any questions, post it on the Q&A panel, and we are happy to take that up. That's the end of the presentation.
Hey, Koshi, one thing, the slides that you referenced, I think they're not going to be available until Thursday.
That's right. So Thursday is when we go live. You will receive a communication on both the security choice as well as the DNA Advantage being available as part of EA. So you're actually getting a sneak preview on this. So so it goes live on Thursday. So all these slides as well as on the Sales Connect updates will happen on Thursday as well as on Cisco.com. Thank you, Candace. Any questions on the Q&A panel?
I think we've covered them, Koshi. A lot of questions have come in. Thank you all for your questions, but I think we've covered them. If for some reason we haven't covered them, please go ahead and you can send them to me, Candace Cisco, and I'll make sure someone gets the right answer to you.
Thank you guys for joining this call. As Candace mentioned, both the PowerPoint as well as the recording of this call will be available on Sales Connect page on Thursday. Reach out to us if you guys have any questions. We will hang out for a few more minutes. If you have other questions, post it on Q&A panel, and we are happy to take that up. Thank you guys, and have a great day.